Good morning. So we shall officially start off with the third semester digital system design course. So in our syllabus, we have these things. I said about it in the introduction video also. Just a small recap I will give over here. So in the first unit, you will be seeing all the basic. So initial part, we have full theory like why do we want to go to digital and things, then fan in, fan out, propagation delay, all those things. So I will come back to that part later. Today we shall see about number systems and complements. Okay. And then we have the different codes used over here and the code conversions. Then how we work on with the uh, digital logic design. So for that purpose, we need to know the Boolean algebra, and we will also see the basic logic gates that are used to design any digital circuit. So with that, we will start off with the first unit. So today we shall see about the number systems and complements. So in today's session, we will see the number system, binary, octal, decimal, and hexadecimal system. And we will also see how we could convert any given number in one of the number system to another. And we will see the complements. So in complements, depending on the base R, we have two types of complements, the R's complement and R minus 1's complement. And we will also see how we can perform subtraction using these complements. So that is the session outcome that you will be knowing by studying these. So this is the outline, the number systems, complements, and the subtraction using. So with any number system, so we are very much familiar with decimal number system. So here I have taken just an example, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this, when you are expressing the number, like we have seen in the mathematics kids class, so we will say ones place, tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, all those things, right? So the similar way here, it is the same thing. However, you can see that we are expressing these in the powers of 10, right? Based on the position in which you have that particular number, accordingly you will be giving the power to the 10. So that is what is actually mentioned over here in the general form. And with decimal number, we say that the base or the radix is 10. So decimal is nothing but 10. So you have the numbers from 0 to 9 in a decimal number system. And similarly, when we say binary, binary is 2. So you have the base as 2 and the binary number system are 0 and 1. And for octal, octal, it is, as the name implies, it is having 8 numbers. So the numbers in octal number system are 0 to 7. And majority of these number systems takes the values from the decimal number system only. So till 0 to 7, if you have the numbers, we call it as the octal. And in case of hexadecimal, hexadecimal means decimal is 10 and another hexa is corresponding to that of 6. So here we have 0 to 9, and then to represent from 10 to 15, we have the letter symbols A to F. So here A corresponds to 10 and F corresponds to 15. Likewise, you can go ahead with the B, C, D, and E. So any number system is generally represented in this form only. That is, for example, if you are having, let us consider this 3, 4, 5, 6 itself. So this is my 0th position, 6 is my 0th position. That is what we call as ones. And 5 is the first position, 4 is second position, and 3 is third position. So based on that, we say this is this 3 into 3, 4 into 10 power 2, 5 into 10 power 1, and 6 into 10 power 0. That is nothing but 1. Okay. So any number system is represented in this form only. So that is what is mentioned here. So A naught represents the uh, number at the rightmost end, or you can also call it as the least significant digit. Okay. In case of binary, we call it as least significant bit, and to the number to the leftmost end, we call it as the most significant bit. Okay. So corresponding to that, we have the powers defined. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you are going to have a decimal point or any that is, if it is any other number system, we don't call it as decimal point. So if you are going to have a fractional part, we give the number defined in this format. So if we are going to have in this decimal point itself, I am going to have 3456.75. So in that case, what happens? We giving the explanation representation is this 7 is considered as -1 position. Okay, so this will be 7 into 10 power -1, and this is 5 into 10 power -2. Okay, well, 1 by 10th position and 1 by 100th position. That is what is this thing. So this coefficients range from 0 to r minus 1. That is the number system, depending on the number system. So in case of decimal, you are going to have 0 to 9 only. If it is octal, you will be having the number only from 0 to, you are not supposed to have greater than that. So this above expression, you can use this to represent or to find the decimal equivalent of a number in any base R system. So be it a binary, octal, or hexadecimal, or even a base 5 representation, base 9 representation, anything it may be. So we can express it in this format. So these are the corresponding equivalents or the values in the number system: decimal, binary, octal, and hexadecimal. So as I mentioned, in case of decimal, the basic numbers are from 0 to 9 that we know, and the equivalent representation in binary is given this way. Okay, as we are representing it or we are showing it till 0 to 15, we have used the 4-bit representation. Otherwise, according to the requirement, you can use the bit representation. Considering to the leftmost end, you will be having zeros. That is it. Okay. And in octal representation, you are going to have the number 0 to 7. So after that, these things will be repeating like this. We shall see the conversion. And in hexadecimal, you have 0 to, I have made a mistake over here. Okay. So 0 to 9, and this should be A, B, C, D, and F. Okay, I made a mistake here while typing. I think I didn't see to it. So this is C, this is D, this is E, and this should be F. I will make the change while uploading the PPT. Okay, va? So these are the basic number systems we have in our syllabus. Now, just we shall see some examples where you can convert any base R system, that is a number in any base R system, to decimal number. So here, first I have taken an example of binary number. So I have the number 10101. I have not given any finite. So you are having 5 digits. So your powers will be from 0 to 4. So the highest power will come to the leftmost bit position. So you have 1 into 2 power 4, and then 0 into 2 power 3, plus 1 into 2 power 2, plus 0 into 2 power 1, plus 1 into 2 power 0. So adding all those will give you the equivalent decimal number. Okay. The same way we could do for any number system. So I have it for octal, hexadecimal, as well as a base 4 number system. Okay. So in case of base 4 number system, you will be having the numbers from 0 to 3. So based on that, I have given all the conversions. You can also try it with any numbers, and many of you might have known it already. Okay, but just think of it as refreshing the basic number system. So if we are given the number, how do you convert it to any other base R system? So in case of decimal number, we will be working out with the integer part and the fractional part separately. So the integer part of any base R will be obtained by dividing the integer part by the corresponding base R successively, and then we accumulate the remainders. Okay, and for fraction part, we will be multiplying and accumulating the integers. So let us see example to get a better hold of it. So here I have considered a decimal number, and we are to convert it to other base R system. Okay, va? So here 64 is the integer part and 0.392 is the fractional part. Okay, so this is our fractional part. This is our fractional part, and 64 is our integer part. So with the integer part, we are going to do division. So you will be having, so dividing 64 by 2, we have 32, and you will be having the quotient as remainder as 0 and the quotient as 60. Now we divide this quotient by 2 again, and we have here it again, the 16 divided by 2 will give you a remainder 0 and the quotient will be 8. Then dividing this again will give you a remainder 0 and the quotient will be 4. Dividing 4 again by 2 will give you remainder 0 and quotient to be 2. Again dividing 2 by 2, we will have remainder 0 and the quotient to be 1. So with integer part, what we actually do is we write the numbers from the bottom to top. So the equivalent representation of 64 in to binary is nothing but 1 0 0 0 0 0. 1 followed by, oh here I think I missed, oh, okay. So we have 1 followed by 5 zeros. Okay, that is the representation of this decimal number into binary number. So for this fractional part, I said you will be multiplying it. So we multiplying 692 into 2 and we get the answer as 0.76, sorry, 0.764. Now this 0.764 is again multiplied by 2 and you get 1.568. Now here we have an integer part. So the integer part for multiplication, because we are going to accumulate the integer part in this multiplicative result. So we will be taking only the fractional part again over here. So we take 0.568 into 2.
Ma'am,
Yes.
that's 784, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. 784. Sorry for the trouble. By continuing, 0.568 into 2, we have 1.136. And so again, here you are having an integer part. So leaving it, you have 0.136 into 2. And this gives you 0.272. Likewise, this continues. Okay. So based on our requirement, you can continue this. So here, while writing the values, we consider this integer part alone and we will be writing out in the top-down fashion only. So the equivalent representation, that is 0.392 in decimal is equal to actually 0.00 etc. in binary form. Okay. So putting together, you will be having 64.392 in decimal form to be represented as 1 followed by 5 zeros, 0.0110, etc. Okay, ma? So this will be binary equivalent for this particular decimal number. So similar way, you could do this division with respect to any base R system to convert, or otherwise you can try converting, or you could convert from the binary, you could actually obtain the octal and hexadecimal. So for now in your syllabus, as you are having only decimal, binary, octal and hexadecimal, it is easier to have at least one thing in mind that would do. Okay, you need not do everything from decimal to octal if unless it is specified that you should do it directly, you need not go for that. So if at all you are going to do directly, so in to find the octal equivalent for this particular 64.392, you will be dividing 64 by 8 and successively divide the quotients and write the remainders for the integer part, and instead of multiplying the fractional part by 2, you will be multiplying it by 8. Okay, that will be the difference. The same decimal, you will be doing it with 16. So that way you could do it. The other way to do this is, we will just see that. I will just copy this down. Okay. So binary to octal and hexadecimal conversion. So we shall see that particular conversion over here. So binary to octal, each octal digit, that is 0 to 7, actually corresponds to 3 binary digits, as you can see in this representation table. So if you check, the 0 to 7 representation actually has 7 or 3-bit representation of in the binary, because the most significant bit will be 0 in all the cases of the. So we can directly take this as it has a binary equivalent in 3 digits. Whereas in hexadecimal, as we can see, you have it as 4 digits. Okay. That is what I have mentioned in this. Hexadecimal digit corresponds to 4 binary digits, and the octal digit corresponds to 3 binary digits. So we shall see how you could do the conversion with respect to that. So here I have given randomly, I have given a combination of ones and zeros. So as I said, just a minute. So with octal representation, so we were saying that each octal digit is actually 3 binary. Yeah.
Ma'am, in the previous sum 64.
Yeah.
Ma'am, it shouldn't be 1 followed
Did I
by
leave
6
out
zeros.
I left out somewhere. Any mistake?
No, it should be 1 followed by 6 zeros. Ma'am.
Yeah, here I left out the remainder. Here, where I gave
in the
this
first
one.
case, ma'am.
Yeah, yes, first case only.
Besides that.
Yes, here I should have given a 0. I left it out, I think. Okay, now it is right?
Yes.
Thank you for notifying. Okay. So till the end, you have to give the remainder and the corresponding quotient value. Okay, ma? Okay. So now considering this binary number, as I was mentioning, the octal digit will have 3 binary digits. So what we do is, with respect to the integer part, we will be grouping the binary digits from right to left. Okay. And with the fractional part, we will be moving from left to right. So I have just split it down this way. So this 0, 1, 1 actually corresponds, or maybe, okay, we shall come from this end. So I have split down this in a group of 3s actually. So with the most significant part, I am having only 2 bits, which implies the most significant is to be, or the leftmost digit is considered to be 0. Okay, ba? So making it 3 bits, 0, 1, 0 is equivalent to 2 over here. And for the next 3 combination also we have 0, so that is also a 2. 1, 0, 1 is actually 5, and 1, 1, 1 is 7, and 0, 1, 1 is 3. And similarly for the fractional part, 1, 0, 1 is 5, and again the 1, 0, 1 is 5. Okay, va? So the equivalent, octal equivalent of this particular binary is 22573.55. That is the octal equivalent of this particular binary number. Okay, and Here, considering the hexadecimal conversion, so here we have, I have grouped this in 4 binary digits. So similar way for the integer part, I have grouped it as 4 from right to left, and for the fractional part, I have grouped it from left to right. So here again, you can see the most significant bit has only, most significant group has the only 2 bits. So initial, that is leftmost bits, I add 2 zeros. So this is again a 2. Then 0, 1, 0, 1 is nothing but a 5. 0, 1, 1 is a 7. 1, 0, 1, 1 is actually the equivalent decimal. If you say it is 11. So in case of hexadecimal, it corresponds to B, because A is corresponding to the decimal equivalent 10. B corresponds to decimal equivalent 11. And fractional part, again a B, 1, 0, 1, 1. And we have 0, 1 as the next one. Maybe as we are not given any other further bits, you can consider or add 2 more zeros to the right and give the equivalent representation as 4, 0, 1, 0, 0. So with respect to that, we can give this. So the hexadecimal equivalent for the given binary is 257B dot B4. Okay, so that is the hexadecimal for this particular binary combination. So now coming back to the one we found in the previous slide. So I will add the 0 that I missed over there. So coming back to this, you can make the conversion from this itself. Okay. So here we are having, if I am going to group as 3s, you will be having the equivalent like this. 0, 1, 1 and a 0. I didn't find the remaining, so let it be like this. So having this, you can give the octal as 100.30 because I didn't find the remaining. So I am just like rounding off things. Okay. So this is the octal equivalent. Similarly, for hexadecimal equivalent, I will be having 100.0000. Yeah. And the point and I 110 putting together. So this will be, so 100 is nothing but 4 and 0, 40 points. Again 110 is 6. So 40.6 in case of hexadecimal. Okay. So you can find all these in your calculator also. So in some places, the binary number will be represented with a notation. That is, instead of giving base 2, they might represent it as small letter B, octal with O, hexa with small letter, or in some cases they use capital letter H also. So they will be using that way. And decimal, generally they don't represent with a base notation always. As we are using the decimal in everyday life, they generally don't give explicit notation in many cases. If at all they give it, it is well and good. Okay, ma? So this is how we do the number system conversion from one base to base R. So the simplest thing to remember is, in case of converting any base R system to decimal, you will be expressing it in the powers of corresponding base R and just add up the value to get the equivalent decimal value. Whereas to convert any decimal number to any other base R, you have to divide the integer part by the corresponding base R, and consecutively you have to do it with the quotients also, and accumulate all the remainders from bottom. And with the fractional part, you have to multiply by the corresponding base R. And again, further, you have to continue with the multiplication with respect to the fractional part alone, and you accumulate the integer parts obtained with the result from top to down. Okay, that is what you have to have in mind with respect to number system conversion. So next we shall see the complements. So complements, again, it is a different sort of representation that we could say. Okay, so this majorly is helpful with respect to performing subtraction operation, and it is also used for any other logical manipulations. Why it is mainly used for subtraction operation is normal subtraction. As kids we do, what we do is, if you are subtracting a smaller that is greater number from a smaller number, you have to borrow from the previous thing and have that in mind. All those things you have to do. So it is difficult for the computer to have, or the hardware involved will be in such case. So we using this complements, we actually perform the operation of subtraction using addition, which is the simplest operation actually. So we will be seeing that. So here with respect to complements, with each of the Bézard system, you have two types of complements. That is radix complement and diminished radix complement. So this radix complement is called the R's complement, and diminished radix complement is called the R minus 1's complement. So depending on the Bézard. So in case of a binary, you will be having it as 1's and 2's complement. In case of decimal, you have 9's and 10's complement. In case of octal, 7's and 8's complement, and in hexadecimal it is 15's and 16's complement. However, octal and hexadecimal we won't be seeing much. We will only go through this binary and decimal system complements. Okay, va? So with radix complement, how we find the radix complement is, you will be finding the radix complement as R par n minus capital N, where n is the given number for which you are finding the complement, and small n corresponds to the number of digits in the particular number. So that is, and diminished radix complement is R par n minus 1 minus n. Okay, that is you can say that it is whatever value you get in radix complement, minus 1 will gives you the diminished radix complement, or you can say the otherwise also. Adding a 1 to the diminished radix complement will give me radix complement. Okay. So let us see some example. So here I have considered few examples. So in this, having obtained 1's complement of 1011011. I have just randomly given the numbers. So with 1's complement, we know the formula is R par n minus 1 minus capital N, where the capital N is the given number and small n is the number of digits. So here in the example I have considered, you have totally 7 digits. So R par n will be 2 par 7 minus 1 minus the given number. So here this R par n, you convert it to binary. Okay, va? So 2 par 7, what is it? 2 par 7? 128. I think so. 2 par 7 is 128, then?
Yes, ma'am. 128, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So with 2 par 7, 128 is the decimal equivalent. However, we need the binary equivalent. So simplest way to remember this is, whatever the power you give over here, you write 1 followed by that many zeros. Okay, va? So 2 par 7 is 1 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 zeros minus 1011. Oh, I missed the one over here. So 1 followed by 7 zeros minus 1 minus the given number. Now here again, this 1 followed by 7 zeros minus 1 is nothing but, if you are going to do the subtraction, you will actually get, this is totally of 8, 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 7 ones will be the result of this 2 par 7 minus 1 subtraction. Okay. And you need to subtract this from 101, 1011. So subtracting this, you could give the result of this thing. So if you are not confident enough with this sort of things, you just try the subtractions manually. Okay, va? So here in this, your result would be 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. This will be the 1's complement of the given number.
Ma'am, and 128, why do we write 1 followed by 7 zeros, ma'am?
Because 128 is the decimal equivalent. You want the corresponding equivalent in binary. You cannot have it that is one form of the number in one system and the another in another system, right? That give a misinterpretation in all means. So one's complement, two's complement is means you should have everything in the corresponding binary only. Okay, va?
Ma'am, how is it 111, ma'am? Like,
if you try the subtraction, so here what happens is, here all the small least significant bits are zeros. So you will be borrowing from the most significant one over here, right? Will become a 0, and the remaining things are, it is actually 1 0. 1 0 implies it is 2, right? You are taking from there and you will be borrowing it till the least significant bit. That is
okay. Yes.
For example, if you are having,
Ma'am, isn't it 9 or something?
that is in decimal. If you are doing just 100 minus 1, நீங்க வந்து decimal ல பண்றீங்கன்னு வைங்க, what happens? Borrowing from here. So this becomes a 1 0. So you again borrow over here. So this will be 9 னு சொல்லி சொல்லுவீங்க, and this is 1 அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி வரும், ரைட்டா? So you will be having 99 அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். The same way with respect to binary, what we do is, this is 100. Let me just take a smaller number for example, okay va? So 100 minus 1. So borrowing from here, this becomes a 0 and this is 10, which implies the corresponding decimal equivalent is 2. So from 2 you are actually subtracting a 1 over, get this thing. So here again this the least significant becomes 10. So again this 10 put together is 2 sort of. So you will be having 2 minus 1 1, and here it is 1 minus 0 1 1. Okay va? So this is the logic behind it. Okay, now you understand? Okay va?
Yes, ma'am.
So as this is in binary system, so here I am having 1 followed by 7 zeros and I am subtracting 1 from it. So 1 digit I will be dropping out, and I will be having all ones. This logic will be applying over there. The same applies for all other bases also. So like with decimal, you got 100 minus 1 to be 99. Similarly, if you are doing the same way for octal, you will be having the result is 77. Okay, depending on the base R, VR, you will be having the result. So this will be octal representation. This is in case of octal. This is binary, and in hexa you will be having it as FF. Okay, you just need to have that in mind. Don't get confused and put the equivalent decimal value as such. Okay va? So that alone you need to take care when you give this sort of subtraction. Okay, this will be in case of hexa. Okay, so with this number, so 1 followed by 7 zeros minus 1 gave me 6 ones, and or I am performing subtraction with that to the given number. So I get this result. So we know 1 minus 1 will give you a 0. 1 minus 1, that is this. Maybe I will write it down like this. So we have 1 1 1, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. And 1 0 1 1 0 1 1. So here so with this we are performing the subtraction. Okay, so subtraction we are supposed to perform it from the rightmost end. So 1 minus 1 will give me a 0. Then again we have a 1 minus 1, that also gives me a 0. This 0 will give me a 1. Again 1 minus 1, so it is a 0. Again a 1 minus 1, that is also a 0. Then again 1 minus 0, that is also a 1, that is a 1. And 1 minus 1, again a 0.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, what will we get if it's 0 minus 1?
In the most significant bit? Hello?
No, like in case of, ma'am, instead of like in this case we have only 1 minus 1 or 1 minus 0. Like that, if we have
Okay.
0 minus 1, then what will we do?
We have to actually borrow it and then perform.
In the end இருக்குல்ல ma'am, can you just show how to do 1011 minus 11111?
Anyway, இந்த subtraction நீங்க perform பண்றப்ப மேல you are now a 0. Okay, va?
Not a zero.
Because 2 power any number minus 1 is always going to be all ones. You won't have a 0 over there. Right?
அப்போ இந்த புரியல, இந்த 1 followed by 7 zeros minus 1 அந்த அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம எப்படின்னு புரியல.
So here you have this 2 power 7. So 2 power 7 is 128. Right? This is our decimal equivalent. Okay. So 2 power 7 is equal to 128 is our decimal equivalent. The corresponding binary you have is 1 followed by 7 zeros. Okay. Over there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, va? This is our binary equivalent. Now we need to perform this particular subtraction. So we need to perform 1 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go over here so that it would be better to show these things. Okay, 1 followed by these things minus a 1. Minus a 1. Now doing this, so we know that you cannot subtract a 0 from 1, right? So we will be starting to borrow. Okay, ma? So from the most significant this thing, most significant one, we will be borrowing, right? So this becomes a 0. You consider it as nama usually in decimal nama 10 podra madriye vechukonga. Okay, this is 1 0, but now we are in binary domain. So the corresponding equivalent is actually nothing but 2 in case in the decimal domain. Okay, 1 0 is binary. The corresponding decimal equivalent is 2. Now from this 2 you are borrowing a 1. Okay, so this becomes 1 over here, and this becomes 10. Right? That is 1 0, which is nothing. Now you will be doing this till you reach the least significant bit. So everywhere you will be having a 1, and in this most significant part you are going to have a 1 0. Okay, which is nothing but a 2 in case of decimal. Or you could say this is 1 0 is 2. That's all you need to have in mind. So 1 0 minus 1 will give me, in case of binary, if you are going to directly get 0 1 actually. So with respect to that, you will be having a 1 over here, right? And for the remaining bits, it is here everything is supposed to be 0. So 1 minus 0 is the 1. This is for this particular bit. And again, this will give you a 1 minus 1. Sorry, 1 minus 0. This will give you a 1 minus 0. Then this is going to give you a 0. This is going to give you a 1 minus 0. And this is going to give you a 1 minus 0. So you are totally having 7 ones. Right? So now you understood how you have this 2 power 7 minus 1 to be 7 ones.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it fine? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
that is the thing. Okay, ma'am. So always while performing this operation, you are not going to have a 0 in the topmost thing, or you are never going to perform a 0 minus 1 subtraction over there. Always it is either a 1 minus 0. That is what is going to happen. Okay, ma'am. Now, as we, so that's why after performing the subtraction, you are having this result 0 1 0 0 1 0 0. That is your ones complement of this number. So here I have considered another example where we are to find the 2's complement. So here this is 2 power 7, which means it is 1 followed by 7 zeros, 4 5 6 7, minus 1 0 1 1 0 1 1. if we are going to perform this, so now performing this, now here you need to give the borrow and all those things wherever it is. So let me have this as, so 1 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you are having 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So now performing subtraction over here. So here you can see you have,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, the number is 1110010.
Oh, sorry. I did it with the top number itself. Sorry. 1110010. Okay. Three ones, 00, 10. 3 ones, 00 and 10. Okay. So here, if we are going to perform the subtraction, so here with the least we are having a 0, 0, so no issues with it. So you can have it as 0 as such. Now here if you see, you need to perform a 0 minus 1. So you need to obviously borrow and do things. Then alone you can do it. So here this becomes a 0. The remaining places, like I explained for 2 power 7, the same way every other number will become a 1 over here. Okay. So as a result of this, the subtraction result will now be, now again it is like you are performing with respect to 1. So 1 minus 1 will give me a 0. Then again 1 minus 0 will give me a 1. Then I have a 1 minus 0 again. And then 1 minus 1. So that will be a 0. Then again a 1 minus 1. And then again a 1 minus 1. So this is what is the 2's complement of this number. So the answer for this 2's complement is equal to 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. Did I make a mistake somewhere? Yes, I have made a mistake. It should be 1, 0 itself actually, because here while borrowing, this is the place where I have it. So this should be 1, 0, right? So this should be 1, 0 itself. I am not borrowing further from this place. So here it should be a 2 minus 1 operation. I am sorry, did I confuse you guys?
Yes, ma'am, later.
No, ma'am.
Okay. While borrowing, what I did was till the least significant bit for which I started the borrowing operation, I should not make that as a 1 illiya. It will be 10 adana irukano. That is 1 0 adana irukano. I made it as 1 actually. So I made a mistake over there. Okay, because I am not borrowing further from this second least bit position. Second least bit position kahala we started borrowing. So adukka left la irukra positions kelanda you will be having a 1. And the place where I started doing the borrowing operation, there it should be 1 0 dane. Okay, got it or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma? Okay. So let all this be one side. So if you complex operation I will say a simplest shortcut. Okay. What you actually do is to find 1's complement, you just invert wherever you have a 0, you put it as 1, and wherever you have a 1, you put it as 0. That is the simplest thing to remember. With any given binary number, if you want to convert it into a 1's complement, you need to interchange zeros and ones and vice versa. Okay, ba? So here with the first position, I have a 1. So my result will have a 0. Next I have a 0. So the result will have a 1. Then I have 2 1s, then 2 zeros. Then the 0 will be a 1. And then 2 1s, that will become a 0. Okay. This is the simplest way to have your 1's complement. And for 2's complement, what we do is from the rightmost end till you encounter a 1, or whatever is the first one, you will be having that one as such, and the remaining places from that particular point will be inverted like we do with the ones complement. So for example, in the given example here, I have 1 0 here. So I am encountering the first one over here. So till that point, I will have the values as it is in the result, or that is with the 2's complement. Okay, so I have this 1 0 as such. The remaining bits, the first 3 ones and the next 2 zeros will be inverted. So I have this as 3 zeros and 2 ones. Now you got the shortcut?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So simplest thing is, in ones complement, you will invert ones with zeros and zeros with ones, whereas in two's complement, from the rightmost part till you encounter the first one, you will write the values as such, and the remaining values you will be inverting the ones and zeros. Okay, va? So next is to obtain the nines complement. So this is again similar we do with the binary. Now here we are going to do with the decimal. So here I have given 5 digits. So this is 10 power 5 minus 1 minus 13652. So here this 10 power 5 is nothing but 1 followed by 5 zeros minus 9. So here it will be 5 nines. That 10 power 5 minus 1 minus 13652. So making the subtraction, so here you can see that each of the digit is subtracted from 9. So 8, 6, 3, 4, 7. That will be the nines complement of this number. Okay. You could always check it. And for this particular tens complement, here it is 6 digits. I have 6.
So nines complement க்கு binary conversion தேவையில்லை.
எந்த பேஸார்ல இருக்கிறோமோ அந்த பேஸார்ல தான் நாம பண்ண போறோம். நமக்கு அது ஒன்ஸ் அண்ட் டூஸ் காம்ப்ளிமெண்ட்ங்கிறது இஸ் கரஸ்பாண்டிங் டு தட் ஆஃப் பைனரி சிஸ்டம். சோ நாம கன்வர்ஷன் பண்றோம். டெசிமல்ங்கிறது நம்ம அதிலே தான் இருக்கிறோம். சோ we need not have any other conversion. ஓகேவா? So 5 6 8 2 1 6. So now to perform this, here this is 1 followed by 6 zeros minus this. So in short, இத சொல்லணும்னா என்ன சொல்லணும்னா, the rightmost or the least significant bit or value மட்டும் you subtract from 10, all others you subtract it from 9. So you will be having 4 3 1 7 8 4. This will be the tens complement of this number. Okay va? Because 1 followed by 6 zeros nu பண்றப்ப you need to borrow it. So on the most significant one வந்து cancel பண்ணுவீங்க. So the except for the least significant மத்த எல்லா இடத்துலயும் 9 வரும். The least significantly you will be having a 10. So we are doing the subtraction as least significant values மட்டும் subtract from 10. So 10 minus 6 you will be having the 4, and for this 5 6 8 2 1 I will be subtracting this from 9. So I will be having 4 3 1 7 and 8. So this will be the tens complement of this number. Okay va? So this is the basic with respect to the complements. So tomorrow we shall see the subtraction using complements. So let us wind off our class with this. I will upload this PPT also. Maybe you can just go through the random examples I have given over here. Okay va? I will upload it after making the changes also. So you can go through this. Okay, so we shall see tomorrow. We shall continue with the subtraction using complements, and maybe we shall see some examples also. Okay va? I will upload this anyway. You just try, and if you have doubt, you can ask tomorrow. You guys, see you tomorrow.